Rodriguez Show.
And we are back on the
Rodriguez
Rodriguez Show and returning for the first time since in 2 years. He's here and he's back with a new project coming soon. Specs, how's it going?
Sir. Good.
Yeah.
How you guys? Everything good?
Chilling,
Yeah,
bro.
Everything good?
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
man.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you haven't been on the show in a while, but you did a lot of stuff for us. But first, how are you, man? How you been?
I'm all right.
Yeah,
You know,
hanging in there.
it took a while to be able to be like, I'm all right. But
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like I always knew I was good. But it's just, when stuff gets in the way, you kind of lose sight of that. But
Yeah,
I mean, I'm here. I'm able to talk to you guys.
yeah,
Everything's good.
taking it day by day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
And we'll get into more of that. But before that, I just want to thank you for performing at Kill 'Em at the Polls and
Always.
at Fresh Vibe, which was last year, 2021.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, how was that performing during the pandemic? Those were two during the pandemic.
Now that was cool because like the first part of it was going and filming the part for Mello's performance. So
Yeah.
so that was like the first time I really performed, light it up, was able to like hear it with drums and everything.
Yeah.
So it felt like it was cool, man. Eddie
Yeah.
Rotten was there, so
Yeah.
I was able to see what he was gonna perform to. I was able to see him like rehearse it before they filmed it.
Yeah.
So that part was cool. And then like actually being able to perform, to like be on stage, that was something that was like, man, because I think there was a show that was supposed to happen like around the pandemic. I was supposed to be on that one too that you guys were gonna have. It was right. I don't know. If
Oh yeah, it was April. It was
was
the 5-year anniversary.
Yeah,
that was like,
man.
that was gonna be the biggest show.
Bro, I remember, and that was like, I was ready. I was like, man, let's go. And then, everything just goes to shit.
Yeah.
And then finally, it was like, Kill 'Em at the Polls came.
Yeah.
He asked if I was cool performing, with the COVID. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I really want to. So being able to be on stage and there was a bunch of people there still. There's, a good amount of people.
Yeah,
Safe,
yeah.
legal amount of people there. But it was, it felt really good to like be able to tap back into that for a little bit.
Yeah,
It was cool. And then the last one too, I was able to show up just for one. I believe
Couple
it was like
tracks.
a couple of tracks. I had to step out, but that was cool too because that was even farther removed from Kill 'Em at the Polls, and that was even more like I really hadn't done anything in terms of music. So it was like to be able to come back on stage, perform 2 tracks, and it was some tracks that like people haven't heard,
yeah,
and it was just more to feel like, all right, this is the direction. This is what I feel like.
yeah.
I want to keep going in, and I felt like it was cool to be able to be back on stage and
Yeah.
to get the feeling of like people, to get the feeling of the crowd back, to get the feeling of loud music back was just something that I didn't know I needed until
For
like
sure.
it happened.
Yeah, and then I would say that so your first like proper full performance was at the OG movie. Was that-
Yeah.
Damn. So how did that one feel? Because that was like a lot of this art project stuff, right?
That was I was scared as hell, man. I was
Yeah.
scared, bro, because that's just like at this point, it's what do I remember? What like I mean I could listen to myself to such like to an extent where I'll get tired of myself. So it's like I don't listen. I stopped listening to myself. I stopped listening to whatever I had made. So it's like, do I still remember these songs? Do I still remember like what do I want to do? Because at this point, this is like, okay, this is my first performance and full performance in almost 2 years.
Yeah, yeah.
I got to realize like, what am I going to give to people? What am I going to give to myself? What do I want to have to show for myself? And so it was a lot. I performed with new glasses too. I was getting used to those. I had sunglasses on and then regular ones. And like, it's cool because now like I work right down the street. So it's like, I went right from work to like get food.
nice.
And then I went to the performance. It was just like, it was cool, man. Just like seeing everybody, it was cool. Being able to have like my friends and everybody like
Yeah.
be able to come out and like see me perform again. Like that used to be something that we would look forward to,
Yeah,
So
way
now
more
it's,
frequently. Yeah.
now it's something that is back and it's something that, we can enjoy again. And it's kind of motivating for me to be able to be like, I want to be able to be like, yo, do you want to do this show? It's like, yeah, I do,
Yeah.
So it's like kind of, I don't know.
You always kill it though, bro. That's
Yeah.
the thing, dog.
I'm always
Yeah.
shitting bricks before.
you are,
I'm
bro.
always
Hey,
about to-
bro. You go up there, you make it seem so like just easy going, bro.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
just
that
went
one
ahead.
at OG movie, you had him
Oh,
in the palm of your hand.
yeah, bro.
And
Yeah.
the first song, my legs were shaky. My voice was shaky. Kike told me too. He had DM me some pictures, and he had told me too. He said, like, man, I could kind of see it and I kind of heard it in your voice. So you're kind of shaking a little bit. He's like, but then after that first song, and that's usually how it feels for me. Cause I even remember when I did the 2 tracks, I was telling Reyes, I don't know if I remember this, I don't know how I'm going to do. And then I went up there and I just like, man, I don't know, man. It's like a fish in water, I feel.
Yeah.
It's cool, bro. It's really cool.
So yeah, so but back to the creation process. So how did you end up working with Melting on Light It Up?
So he has sent me some beats in the past, and I think I was just kind of just checked out. I really wasn't like listening to anything new at the time. And then he sent me one, and he said, "Yo, this is this is for my album." And I listened to it and right away. It was just kind of different from what I had been working on, different from what I had heard from people that like producers that are working like in this area. Like he's from LA, but he's like really tapped into Orange County, I feel.
Yeah.
So it's like it was really different from like the sound was a different step from what other people were doing. And it was something that I really wanted to do. It was something that I felt very comfortable around. So the fact that he sent me the beat and he was like, yo, I hear you on this. Like, I want you to be on this. And I want you to be on my album. That was something that was like, all right. Like, that was tight. To me, that was like, all right, sick. And the beat was just beautiful. So I was like, let's get to it. And then from there, the album came out. And it was just like hearing that song every day. It was just like, man. I want to do more.
Dude, I never stopped listening to that song.
Dude, I feel like that's such a beat for you too. The way you said it was beautiful, like bro, like I right away, like I was like, oh, this is. And it didn't start with your voice, dog. It just starts with the melting thing. I was like, oh, that's a Specs beat, dog. That's a fucking Specs.
That's exactly like I felt that. It's not that I hadn't felt that before, but it was like in that, like when he sent me that, I was like, yeah, this is a Specs beat. This is what I would feel comfortable, being on. This is what I'd be comfortable performing. I'd be comfortable showing this to people. And I feel like that's something that I've been really trying to like hone in on. Like it's something I'm really trying to like figure out. It's something that in the 2 years that, trying to figure out, like who am I?
Yeah.
I know to a certain extent I am Specs. I am this person. This and that, but when it comes down to it, like I really didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
So it was like that. I even told Mellow thing like that first beat really helped me find like whatever sound I'm trying to go for. Like really molded that for me. So it was like it was really cool. Like our shit was.
And then being able to hear the new project that's coming out September 28th, so the ones I lost. Like you can hear like that's where you took it in that direction. It's like like this is what we wanted. This is what I wanted to hear at the same time.
The way it had happened was like after Light It Up, it was just he was telling me like he started sending me beats. He's like, all right, and it started sounding like Light It Up in a way. It started giving me that same feel. So it was just perfect. I felt like okay, and I had started writing to like he had started even sending me beats. I want to say like January 2020, and then he kept sending me beats. And then it just led it to like a whole. We had like 3 or 4 songs, and then he's like, "Bro, like, well, we almost have a project."
Yeah.
He's like, "Why don't we do something?" And I was like, man, took the words out of my mouth. I just didn't know how to approach it, but I wanted to do something. Like at that point, it's just like I had figured out like, yeah, this is it. Like let's go. And
so some of the songs that you made at that point are they the ones that ended up on the project?
Yeah, for the most part, everything like kind of made it on. There's a couple beats that I had recorded too that just never really like I never finished or they just never really transpired into anything. But these I had been working on these, before the pandemic, during the pandemic, a little bit after. But then it was just really trying to figure out how to put it all together after.
Yeah, no, and it came together beautifully. Like this is one of the best albums I've heard.
Thank you, brother.
And so and then so speaking on kind of the subject matter of some of the stuff that stood out to me was. So the last time you were here was in 2020, and we FaceTimed you because it was during the FaceTime times, and you told me that it was like right before something like went down, and it kind of changed your life in a way. Obviously, like can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so it was like the end of April. My grandpa had he's been sick for a really long time since like 2006, but it was heart problems. He had like 5-6 heart attacks, but he was like so. The point is like he was real like old. Yeah. Real old, real sick, but he was holding on. You know what I mean? So, COVID came and we did good in like staying inside. To the point where I stopped going to work because I didn't want to get him sick. I didn't want to get my grandma sick. I didn't want to be the reason. I didn't want to be the for them to be able to point back and be like, it's because of you.
Yeah, yeah.
So I really like I really try to take it seriously, you know, and then I don't know, you know, there's no way to really like, even thinking about it now, I can't go back and trace how everything happened, but I just kind of noticed, you know, my grandma had gotten sick. You know, she had like, it seemed like she just had like a cold or something. We didn't think it was COVID because no one had left. No one had left the house.
Like, how could this happen?
Exactly. No one had left. No one had came. You know, the people that were taking care of my grandpa hadn't been coming. It was me.
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, there's no one coming in and out. How is she getting sick? It can't be COVID. Maybe she's just, you know, sick.
Yeah.
And time passes and my grandpa gets sick too.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, like it's kind of getting scary because, you know, he's older. He can't really walk without help. And then like he's starting to walk at night. He's starting to kind of like, you know, lose it a little bit. He's so, you know, he has a fever that's so high. He's starting to like, you know, walk without his walker in the middle of the night, like not knowing where he's at, not knowing who I am. And that shit like tripped me out. That's when I was like, okay, something's wrong. Like the person that takes care of him is my aunt and my mom. And they have been MIA. And the reason they were MIA is because my aunt was super sick. She like was dying. Yeah. But she didn't want to go to the doctor because she didn't want to get tested for COVID. Yeah. But at that point, it was full-blown pneumonia. So it was like she hadn't been home. Yeah. So we didn't know what was going on. My mom had been taking care of her. But it's like, who's going to take care of this guy? Yeah. And at that point, all the hospitals are filled up. Yeah. All of the what are those called? The like retirement homes. That's where everybody's dying. Yeah. So they send them to they ended up having to send him to like a rehab home, which is pretty much the same shit as a fucking retirement home. Yeah. And he was there for a while, and then they test him while he's there, and turns out he's positive for COVID. Yeah. And me and my cousin, you know, we don't know if we're positive at the time. Yeah. And they basically say we can't keep him here because we don't want, you know, anybody else to get sick, and there's no room at the hospitals. So pretty much we're gonna turn your home into his hospital, into his hospital room. Yeah. So they brought him back home. They brought him with everything he needed, and my mom finessed the fucking insurance. I don't know how she did. Wherever she's at, shout out to you. Yeah. But she pretty much got a free hotel room for a week for me and my cousin. So basically, enough time to quarantine and figure out like if we were COVID positive. Because if we were, then we would just go home. Yeah. We wouldn't like, we were all positive at that point. So it's like, we're just whatever. Yeah. But if we were negative and they're positive, then, you know, there's no point. Separate. Yeah. So that's like in the middle of the week. By the end of the week, we're going to the hotel. I take a shower in the hotel. I lose my fucking smell. I realize I can't smell the shampoo. Oh, no. I think it's just the hotel soap that's shitty, but it's the shampoo. I think that's what it is, but I can't smell. I start smelling random shit. I can't taste anything. And then I'm just like, okay, you know, we're fucked. Fuck. And I believe that same week, that day when everything first started cracking, I had just dropped the slopes. Mm-hmm. And there was, you know, a lot of things going on in that moment. Yeah. So I was pretty hyped up, and then we had organized the fact that we were gonna get together on FaceTime. We were gonna do an interview. So during that week, I don't know if it was Tuesday. But we filmed the interview. I was in the hotel at that point already, quarantining. And then the next day, it was like random. My mom had just came back, you know, from the apartment, taking care of my grandpa. We were already positive at that point. She was too, so she just came and like brought us whatever we needed. Yeah. You know, she's making us breakfast, and my aunt calls my cousin, who I'm quarantining with, and she just tells him, yo, like, he passed away. Damn. So it's just like, you know, he passed away on May 6th. That's it's the day of my cousin's birthday as well. So it was like I had just sent my cousin a happy birthday text, and then instead of getting like a thank you, bro, you know, he sends me like a, what the fuck, like. Yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, surreal in that moment, but you know, it was like kind of like fuck, because you hear about all these things that happen in the world, and you hear about this shit, and you know, the first thing you think about is like, that can't happen to me. It could happen around me. It could happen close by, but it won't happen to me. Yeah. But the fact that I really did have to like see that shit, and I felt that shit firsthand was crazy. It was like, it kind of like really like put a lot of things into perspective, because I was a person who was like afraid of death in a way. You know, there was people close to me that would talk about it all the time in a way where I felt uncomfortable, where it was like, you know, they either talk about they want to die, they don't want to be here, and I'm just like, don't talk about that around me, because it's like, I don't know what happens afterwards. Mm-hmm. And I hadn't to that point, I hadn't experienced that
in your life,
in my life. But right before my grandpa passes away, I have an uncle that passes away of an overdose. My grandpa passes away. My uncle's mom passes away. You know, she was really sick as well. She passes away after that. And then later on in the year, you know, I had an uncle who was really close to me. He was my dad's uncle, like my great uncle, I guess. But he, you know, he had cancer. He was fighting cancer for a couple years, and then he passes away. So then it's like I go from not knowing what loss is to like, damn. It's like a whole generation of people that like looked after me. A whole like chunk of my family like is gone. Yeah. And that, to me, that's fucking crazy. Yeah. You don't think some shit like that could happen to you.
No, and so fast.
And it puts a lot into like, you know, into perspective where it's like, yeah, there's, you know, shit is serious. Yeah. You know, and like shit gets real fast. Like, you know, like it sucks, but you know, life really does fucking suck. Yeah. There's no other way to put it, and it does suck. And for a long time it sucked without like kind of purpose. I feel like it felt like it just sucked, and like everything was happening for no reason. Everything happened because it just fucking happens. But then you know, like it's just like, it's not like it clicks one day, but like you just slowly but surely kind of realize that like, yo, like, I mean, this is, you know, this is a script. We're all following a script. You know, we all have different stories. We all have different, you know, parts in the script, but at the end, like the script is the same. You know, so it's like we just gotta keep. It all ends the same. We just gotta keep following our script. You know what I mean? And it's like, in a way, I felt like I had to do that, and like I felt like that's what really made me feel like, all right, who do I want to be? Because it's like these people that left my life, like without even knowing it, they figured out who they were and they figured out who they wanted to be. But it's like, I have no clue. Like,
where do you go from there?
Yeah, like the first time I came on this show, I was 19, 18, like fucking pencil mustache and a little baby goatee, jean jacket on with the fucking like a surfer beanie, bro.
I remember.
and like, you know, I think back like now, like then and now, and I think back to like how I've, you know, it like everything in between that as well. And it's just like at the time it felt like it really wasn't important. At the time it just felt like fun, and it just felt like, you know, just like time going by. But now I look back at that and I'm just like, man, like that's what kind of led me to be like where I want to be now. Like, I don't know, like it put a lot of stuff into perspective for me, especially because everything happened like so quickly, like so fast, where I was just like, man, like how can shit get worse at that point? Yeah. You know, so I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sorry for all the loss that you've been through, man. Yeah, it's tough. It's one of those things where it's like, it does shape you. Like, it does change like your perspective on things, and it seems like you're heading in a direction now where you're trying to figure out who you are, and slowly but surely you'll get there to where you feel good today, and that's what you're saying. Just focus on it. You know,
like I feel like a lot of people really like look down on people. You know, it's like, oh, you're content. Like, I feel like there's a difference between being comfortable and being content. When you're comfortable, you don't want to move, and when you're content, you're happy. You know what it's just words, just putting words together. Like, if I'm comfortable, obviously I'm not gonna want to move from where I'm at. I'm gonna want to stay where I'm at. But if I'm content, that just means I'm happy with the way that I'm going. I'm happy with the progress that I made, and I know that there's more to be made tomorrow. So it's like, I'm not comfortable, but I'm content. Like, I'm not happy. I don't know if I could say I've been happy, because I don't know if I can say I've genuinely been like super duper sad. Like, I know that shit hurt me, but it's like, there could be worse. So I could say like, I'm happy now, but I could feel something like way better tomorrow. So it's like, I'm content, and I'm willing to see what tomorrow has. And it's just like, I feel like that's really like kind of like putting like, I don't know, it's really shaping like the way I think about things, because it's like little things don't matter to me anymore. Like, in the sense of like, I don't know, like I don't care about, like, it sounds super fucking dorky and cliche to say, oh, I don't care what people think of me, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's kind of noise. Like, it's just noise, because like, I mean, one of the only people that like I care about their opinion, like, they can't tell me what they think anymore. So do you think I'm gonna really, like, if you have something to say just for something to say, like, if you're not telling me because, you know, you're just telling me just to tell me, you're not telling me, you know, I don't you know what I mean? Like, like, you're just not even, I don't even want to say on some hater shit, but if it's like, you're just telling me something to tell me something, to hear the sound of your voice, to get your opinion out, I mean,
don't waste your energy.
Don't waste your energy. All power to you. I'll hear you. But before, I would have given you the time of day and tomorrow. You know what I mean? But now it's just like I gotta focus on what time I go to sleep. Like I'm up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, like I gotta figure out when I'm gonna watch TV, when I'm gonna play video games. I gotta figure all this shit out. That I have all these things in my mind that might not seem important to you, but they're more important than some people's opinions.
It's for sure.
And
I feel exactly the same way.
But yeah, because I felt like I was, I cared too much about that. If I were to drop something, I would care about what people like. Oh man, are people gonna listen to it? Are people gonna like it? And it's like, it's not that I don't think about that now, but it's like now it's like it's not as big of a deal to me anymore. Like it's not the end all be all. Like if there's something that I felt like someone wouldn't want to like hear, but it's like it's my vision, it's my idea, I'm gonna follow through with it because that's what I want to do. You know,
was that a fear you had when you were making this one?
Nah, not at all. Like because it was like I said, like once I found the sound, it was just off to the races from there. Like it was just really easy to write. You know, it was really easy to be like, okay, my last big project was 2018. I started writing this in 2020. That's 2 years of perspective right there.
Yeah.
That's 2 years of a lot of shit that has happened in my life where it's like, okay, I have something to say. I have something, you know, because I don't.
Did it help to write about that stuff?
Yeah, of course. It does because it's like, you know, out of sight, out of mind, I guess. Like it's like once it's out of my head, it's like it's somewhere else. I'm not thinking about it constantly. It's like, you know, so it's good to, that's my, in a way, like that's kind of like my therapy. That's my way to be out there. Like, you know, no one's talking back to me, but I know that the mic isn't going to, you know, stop me from saying what I say and what I feel. And what I feel and what I say isn't always necessarily right. But sometimes I feel like I just need to say that. I know if I'm not hurting anybody directly, if I'm not being like disrespectful and like on like a grand stage, like I get like, you know, just, you know, calling someone a motherfucker, you know, but, you know, but it's like, I know the limits, I know the boundaries, and I know like when I get on the mic, I know I can say what I'm going to say and no one's going to stop me, and I can like vent to it and it's going to hear me out. I could cry on it and it's going to like fucking wipe the tear off my eye. You know what I mean? So it was really like, I feel like that's where my best music has always came from. It's just like from a real place. It's like when I feel like I talk about something and I'm really connecting with some real shit that's going on in my life, I feel like that's the easiest to talk about. You know, I have random people come up to me at like 99 bottles saying like, oh man, you know, you're talking about your mom and like all the problems that she had, man. Like I'm a user too, bro. Like, man, that shit is tough, bro. Like I know exactly what you're going through. Hey, I got some shit though if you want to smoke it. I'm fucking good, dog. But it's like to be able to like to have that, and that's, you know, that's something that I want to put out there, and like to get reactions like that, or just to be able to have people like listen to what's kind of going on in my mind. Like, you know, like what I'm saying isn't like the Bible. What I'm saying isn't like 100% like what's going on, but this is me. That's all I could give you. I can't give you a perspective. I can't give you anybody else's perspective. I can't give you, you know, I can't talk about something that I haven't gone through personally. You know, I personally can't do that. Like for me, I feel the most comfortable being able to talk about something I've actually like felt, I've actually lived. It's like, you know,
and there's moments, I mean, even in Light It Up, but in the whole project that you do, like it is stuff where you're putting yourself 100% out there, and it does feel like authentic because it's like he's not lying. Like this is his life. And it really resonates, even though like I'm not doing 100% everything. You're going through the same feelings, kind of translate through, and that's why I connected with it a lot.
Yeah, you know, like on the project, you know, on the song Time, the song Time is all about me falling out of love with somebody, knowing that I wasn't the perfect person, like accepting my flaws, but just knowing that there's nothing that I could do about that in that moment anymore. It's past. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I can put little things from like my real life and just blow them up in a way where it's like it's like, I don't know.
It wasn't that dramatic. But
it's not that dramatic, but it's like I'm putting out a song where I'm saying I'm a piece of shit, pretty much. If you listen to the song, I'm saying I'm a piece of shit. And I'm basically saying everything you say is true. I'm a piece of shit. But in order for me to be better, I have to accept it, and I have to realize what I did. And the only way that I felt like I could have done that is through a song.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's about accepting all aspects of you and not like hiding that shit because it's who you are.
and it's if I really want to be me, it's impossible to hide anything. It's impossible to be like, I'm a fucking piece of shit, and like, in front of everybody, I'm happy go lucky, yo. Let's all be like fucking rah rah, like hell yeah, like I can't do that.
Nah.
Like I'm either like I'm all in or I'm all out.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like I can either give you all of me on a track, on a project, or I can just phone it in. I'm comfortable doing either or, but I'm more comfortable being myself.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes for like a lot of songs too. Like I try to put, as much of real life into it without like, I don't know, but like with also like leaving some, not mystery, but like not completely like putting everything like on my life out there.
Yeah.
But like being able to put enough where it's like, this is what I want to put out there, and this is me. This is what I'm giving you. This is what I want you to judge me on.
Yeah.
This is what it is.
When you do that though, like when you say you put something out there and it's like something like the song where it's like I've been up for 3 whole days. Do you look at something like that and go like, not because people will judge you, but just for yourself, like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be. Not that I'm not judging you for it. Do you judge yourself and like, oh shit, like maybe I shouldn't be doing this shit?
Yeah, I feel like I'm aware enough to be like, I know when I'm doing something that I shouldn't, and I know when like I'm obviously doing damage to myself, or like I know like when I say I'm up for 3 days, I'm up for 3 days.
Yeah.
They're on the song, Goodbye My Friend, I Miss My OG. I say, I've been up for so long it made my nose bleed. Because that whole period of time when he was waking up in the middle of the night getting sick, I was up all night finding ways to keep myself awake. So if anything happened, if he needed to go to the restroom or if he got up, he fell off of the bed, I was going to be there.
Oh, okay.
When it's like, light it up. I've been up for 3 whole days. I've been up for 3 whole days doing something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, I look at that and when I hear it, it's like, I think back like then and I'm just like, damn, like I was up for 3 whole days. I could barely even stay up for 3 hours right now.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. But it's like, in that moment, like, it's kind of freeing because it's like, all right, instead of someone else, pointing it out first, I'm able to point it out myself. Like I'm able to realize like, okay, I'm, maybe this isn't the best decision for me. Maybe this isn't healthy, but it's who I am. It's what I did. I can't run away from it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like it takes a lot to be able to put yourself out there. And like you said, the path that you're creating, it's for yourself. It's not to please anybody, but I think people are going to really enjoy this when it drops on September 28th.
Yeah.
Before we get to the performance, I wanted to ask you about the Hippie Seed joint project. How did that come about?
Man, well, another little short story. So the first, I think it was the 3 year. Which one was the one at GCS?
3 years.
3 years. Okay,
Yeah.
so the 3 year anniversary was like I performed. I think right before me, Hippie C had performed. I had no clue who anybody was. I had no clue who Hippie C is.
Yeah.
And he has shirts and he's throwing them into the crowd, right? And he just starts throwing shirts like crazy. And he throws one and I'm not paying attention. And that shit hits me in the fucking face. It hits me right in the face. And I'm just like, damn, I have this dude's shirt that I like. It just hit me in the fucking face. I'm never going to forget who Hippie C is. And, start listening to the music. And it's like, man, like, I'm a big fan of like battle rap and the way he breaks down like his raps and everything is just it's kind of like mind boggling. So it was the first shit like around here that I heard like that. I was like, wow, like there's probably others, but that's the one that sticks out to me.
Yeah.
But I had a track that I had posted on Instagram. I was like, I need a verse on it. Whoever's willing to hop on, and he just told me to send it. I sent it to him, and it's Under the Moon. It's out on SoundCloud now. It's dope. And then he sent me back a beat and he's like, yo, hop on this one.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, it took me a while. I'm like, I had it for I think 1 or 2 months before Kill 'Em at the Polls.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't know if no, it wasn't Kill 'Em at the Polls. It was the other one.
Fresh Vibe.
And he hit me up. He's like, man, like where is it? And I hadn't finished it yet. I had there was still some mumbling on it. It still wasn't mixed. And I was like, bro, I'm gonna bounce it out. I'm gonna send it to you. It wasn't finished. I was gonna try to finish it in that moment, and I just like I couldn't get it to him. And then OG movie comes around and it's finally done. So the whole day I'm just fucking waiting to run into Hippie C and be like, yo, bro, like I got it. And I did, and I played it for him. He fucked with it, and he said, yo, like, you know, we got 2 already. Like, we should just, let's do a tape. Yeah. And I was just like, man, I'm down as hell, man. Like, you know, let's do it. And he said, I have a session with Mellow Thing. You know, just pull up. He pulled up, got a bunch of beats from Mellow Thing, some fire beats, some crazy shit. Oh, man. And then and then we just pulled up. I had like 2 weeks to write to it. And we wrote, we did, it was in 2 sessions. So he finished everything in 1. And then I finished 3 tracks that session. Mm-hmm. And then I went back like 2-3 weeks later. Yeah. And then I finished the rest of it. Damn. So we got to work from there. It's crazy. It sounds crazy. He's in his fucking bag on that one.
Shit. Yeah. And everybody listening, you might get a chance to see that live soon.
Man.
So when do you think that's gonna come? I mean, so you got the Ones I Lost September 28th, but then that Hippie C project, is that coming out October?
I would say so. October, maybe after, if you know, if we do perform, maybe after that. But it'll be. We were talking about it, and it'll be, you know, something around that time. Spiffy Green coming really soon.
Shit, that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, are you ready to do a couple tracks?
Let's get into it, brother.
All right, it's time. He's here to perform 2 tracks from his upcoming album, To the Ones I Lost, coming September 28th. He's here, and he's now Specs on The Rodriguez Show.
Let's go. Dale. Yes. It's the past, the present. It's the motherfucking future. It's everything. 98SP. The Rodriguez Show. Yeah. Look, I keep my raps for like a year and then I take it to the stew. I see y'all rushing with y'all records and the quality's the proof. I see you bum ass rappers trying to move like I move, trying to do what I do. Homie, stop, that ain't you. Chris Angel mindfuck, you see a gun then you shoot. I'm Obama with this shit, on go with the troops. Parking lot pimping with my brother Slime in the coupe. When I'm in the booth, I say shit that's gon' poison the youth. I need that money for a check, I'll give an eye and a two. I can't lie, too many people told me I am the truth. And if you tryna kill yourself, I guess I am the noose. And I'm on the loose, I'm ballin' like I'm playing for Duke. Coach K shit, fuck I look like getting complacent. Said it back in 2017, ain't with the fake shit. I'm too unfamiliar, it give me morning blues. But shit, we start laughing every time we look at you, pathetic. Specs Jordan, don't sweat it, but shit, I'm more like Michael Phelps cause I barely come in second. Don't ask me for advice because I promise you gon' get it. This rap shit ain't for you, big homie, just dead it. Apply changes, bitch. Yes, yes, yes. To the ones I lost, 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 to the ones I lost. Hey, yeah, hey. Baby, I can't feel my face. Baby, I can't feel my face right now. Baby, I can't feel my face. Yeah. Hey, look, bus stop on Bewley Street used to pick me up to go to school, man. My baby bro turned 18 like last week, shout out Coleman. As a kid, I rooted for the Dodgers, then I figured out where I grew up. My dogs ride solo, but who the fuck would ever wanna lose us? My daddy tried to take my voice away, always had a mic ever since then. Same night she said she loved me, I was trying to fuck on her little friend. Used to whip in my minivan, it would overheat, but it was fine, G. One day I'ma disappear and baby, I can't feel my face. I've been up for 3 whole days. They try to change me for the best, but I'm right back to my old ways. You got the weed and light it up. Bitch, stop peeking in my cup. I'm so reckless with this shit, but I can never get enough. Look, remember shit through WrestleManias. Taking the blunt to the cranium. Pick a little slutter from Orange. Yeah, that bitch live on Batavia. All of my raps, I can't make it duh. I promise I mean all this crazy stuff. Residue stuck on my nose ring. Once I start, then I can't get enough. Baby, I'm hitting the slopes. Shit, I get paid on the 15, but after I pick up, I'm broke. I was so lonely until I turned 20. I wouldn't do shit but just yaying and smoke. I'm 24. No one would tell me shit. I I ain't never been a bad guy, but there's so many times that I felt provoked. I got no hope, I got a dream. I pray for you if you don't believe in me. Never ever try to claim a hood or a color, but they know that I'm from the streets. I miss my Uncle Allen, he a different breed. Make sure we always had shit to eat. He always went and made it happen for us. Him and my mama, my OGs can't feel my face. I've been up for 3 whole days. They try to change me for the best, but I'm right back to my old ways. You got the weed and light it up. Bitch, stop peeking in my cup. I'm so reckless with this shit, but y'all can never get enough. Baby, I can't feel my face. I've been up for 3 whole days. They try to change me for the best. I'm right back to my old ways. You got the weed and light it up. Bitch, stop peeking in my cup. I'm so reckless with this shit, but y'all can never get enough. Baby, I can't feel my face. Yeah. I've been up for 3 whole days. They try to change me for the best. But I'm right back to my old ways. Yeah, you got the weed and light it up. Bitch, stop peeking in my cup. I'm so reckless with this shit. But y'all can never get enough. That's the beauty of doing it live, ladies and gentlemen. You might flub on some words, but guess what? That's the only time you ever hear it is on the Rodriguez Show. And it's an exclusive. That's an exclusive right here, only on the Rodriguez Show.
Specs on the Rodriguez Show. Man. That was still fire. I thought it was smooth.
I tried to keep it pushing, but I was like, I'm in too deep. I was like, no, you can't go. But, fuck.
That was dope though.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's when I was in the pandemic, I was listening to a lot of music, and when I heard that song, I was like, when I get the chance to see that shit live, I'm gonna see it. So now I got to see it live right here on the Rodriguez Show. So thank you for that.
Thank you for letting me do it live, bro. Yeah.
All right, guys, listen to the project to the Ones I Lost, September 28th at 98 Specs on Instagram. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening today. And like we say every week, keep it funky, keep it fresh, keep it sexy, and we out.
Keep it sexy.
Out, baby.
Sheesh.